Well, hello, this guy Stevens with the Alliance Against Seclusion and Restraint here today on Monday afternoon, a little after 2 o'clock. It looks like it's around 11 o'clock here Eastern time. I had hoped to have a live guest that was at the protest today, the JRC or Judge Rotenberg Center protest today. Unfortunately, they've not been able to join me yet, but I figure we'll go ahead and start. And if they're able to join me, then we'll talk to somebody that's live there on the scene. But in the meantime, there's something I can share here. So give me a second, and I'm going to share my screen and share a little bit of something that's going on here. So give me 1 second. All right. And we are looking. There we go. And perfect. So right now, the protest is going on and is live. So this is the JRC Stop the Shock protest that's happening today in Boston from 12 until 5. And I will share with you just a clip of a little video here. And again, hopefully I might be joined from somebody live there at the event here in a moment. But here's a clip that was just posted a few minutes ago on the page.
Never thought that. As you scream and scream in pain, only attacking years, he was trying to get away from the floor.
And this was live a few minutes ago at the JRC Stop the Shock protest.
Vulnerable population, people with autism, people who try to speak are silent. Their opinions apparently don't matter. The monster always reigns supreme. This monster, known as the Graduate Electronic Accelerator, or GED, is only in use at the Judge Rotenberg Center in Canton, Massachusetts.
And they're there to protest the use of the electric shock that's used on autistic individuals and individuals with disabilities. They're there to support legislation.
They're tolerable to adult humans on the lowest power version. The power is 3 times higher on the highest version.
And again, hoping that somebody might be able to join us here, but it looks like they've not been able to jump on. They did do a live event, but I will just let you know that there is right now in Boston going on a protest. And of course, you can go to the JRC Stop the Shock protest site, which I'll put in the chat here in a second. And what you can do there is you can take action. So, while you may not be able to be in Boston right now at this moment in time, there are other things that you can do to support legislative change. One is that you can contact your lawmakers in the state. And I thought I had some information here on that as well. But there is a bill that's being talked about today at the protest, and would encourage you to check it out and also to check out the site. Let me go ahead and put in the chat the link to the event page. And again, it amazes me that this is even something that is happening, that there is one place in the world that I know of that this happens, and that's the Judge Rotenberg Center in Canton, Massachusetts. And they are using electric shock as a behavioral intervention. So they carry with them a device that they can use to shock individuals. And you can see here again, people that are wearing the GED device can leave harmful effects. So there is a bill. It's House Bill 180 in Massachusetts. And again, if you go to the site, you'll find there's a QR code, and you can scan that to support House Bill 180. You can also, if you're not a resident of Massachusetts, find support that you can do there as well. So there are some things that you can do if you go to the site to support this. But again, it's hard to believe in 2023, a lot of things happen, whether it be in schools or other facilities across the country, but certainly really hard to believe that, we have a place in this country that uses electric shock on autistic and disabled residents. And of course, that can be not only painful, but quite harmful. So at any rate, there is a legislative effort in Massachusetts Bill 180. The bill would prohibit procedures which cause physical pain or deny reasonable humane existence to persons with disabilities. New York is also working on legislation with New York Senate Bill 8935, or Andre's Law. And that's an act that prohibits New York State from financially supporting and sending children to institutions that use electric shock devices. And it looks like, guess what? It looks like we might have somebody live joining us here. So let me go ahead and hold on for a second. We are going to go live right now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. But I see Alyssa Hunt there. Hey there, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Sorry I'm a couple minutes late.
Oh, you are fine. I started without you because I thought, well, I want to get some attention on this. But you are live right now in Boston at the protest, right?
Correct.
So what's going on there? What's going on there in Boston right now?
Well, we've got quite a few people here.
Okay.
I can't really, they're kind of scattered right now.
Right.
We just had a little a speech from a couple of different people about the Judge Rotenberg Center and about the bill that we're trying to get passed, H-180, that would actually not just stop the shock, but it would protect everybody, every disabled person in congregate care or residential facilities in Massachusetts from abuse.
Wow. So for those that might not be familiar, we're hoping that some people see this that might not know that this is going on. Would you tell folks about what you're talking about with Stop the Shock and what's happening there at the Judge Rotenberg Center?
Yes. So the Judge Rotenberg Center is the only place in the country, and as far as we know in the world, that uses a skin shock device. It's a piece of metal attached to the person's skin, and they shock them when they behave in a certain way. They can be shocked for things as simple as standing up. It's all disabled people, a lot of it's autistic people, and I've got a crowd coming here.
I hear him.
A little bit. See if we can see him.
Stop the shock. That's great.
Stop the shock! 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 Stop the shock!
He's live right now in Boston.
Right.
There. That's great. So they use this device and they shock people if they're not meeting their behavioral expectations. It's the only place in the world that does this, and it causes harm, right? I mean, it's not a light little shock. It's something that actually causes skin burn and other forms of harm. And JRC has a long history of issues there, don't they?
Yeah, there's been 6 deaths over the years. There's been a couple of incidents that were really horrible. One man, his name was Andre McCollins, he wouldn't take his coat off. So, I'm busy. He wouldn't take his coat off, so they tied him down to 4-point restraints, and they shocked him 31 times over 7 hours. Now, that video was somehow released to the news, so that can be found online.
Wow. Yeah, and I'll try to find a link and put it in the chat here. So you are actually the organizer of this event, right? You've got a lot of different organizations. We're, of course, part of that as well. How many organizations did you get on board for this?
27.
27, wow.
Organizations. Some in Mass, some not in Mass, from all around the country. A lot of people want to get involved and stop this shock.
So tell us about the bill there in Massachusetts. So I know there have been efforts around this before. Even the FDA got involved and at one point had banned the use of the device only to have that decision reversed. Tell us about the bill. Where is it in process? How's it looking for the bill? What would happen if the bill were passed?
Okay, so the bill H-180, an act to end aversives, has been introduced for the past 10 years every year, and it has not passed. It would put an end to the shock device, as well as, I think I might have said this, all disabled people in Massachusetts in residential facilities of any kind. So people have tried to get this stopped for many, many years. Most recently, the FDA was able to ban the device right at the beginning of 2020 when COVID started. And then, of course, the Judge Rotenberg Center appealed the decision, and they won on the basis that the FDA wasn't authorized to ban that device. So just over the end of last year in December, the FDA was granted the authority to ban the device in an end-of-year omnibus bill, but they still have done nothing. And I read somewhere about them talking about oversight as opposed to banning. So we're not really sure. where
I
that.
mean, there's no oversight that makes using electric shock on human beings okay. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, yeah. So that bill has come forward for 10 years. What stopped it? I mean, it seems like it would be such an easy bill to pass. We're talking about an abusive practice that's happening in one facility in the world. You certainly can't make the argument that's necessary because there's nothing different about the individuals that are in this facility than maybe in places around the world where they're not using this type of approach. So, why has this been a hard bill to get passed? And do you think it's going to be different this time?
It's been a hard bill because of money, I believe. They spent 400,000 a year on lobbying to keep this device able to be used. They have the parents. For some reason, the parents want their children to be shocked. Now, these aren't children; they're adults, but the parents want them to be on this device, which just makes no sense to me whatsoever. I think a lot of people have only promoted this bill on the basis of the Stop the Shock and not on the basis of all disabled in residential care. So I believe that's going to make a big difference this year. I think we're going to get it done.
That's great. That's great. Well, let's hope so. Somebody asked here in the chat. We're live right now on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, but they asked, why would anyone send their child there? And of course, we know children end up there through a lot of different pathways. Can you talk about how children might end up at the Judge Rotenberg Center?
I know that some of them are there through educational programs. A lot of them are just placed by their parents. So they're extremely autistic for the most part, and they say that they use this device only if they're going to hurt themselves or someone else. But if you look on their website, it tells you they'll use it for the person standing up. They have devices where if the person takes their hands from their sides, they'll get shocked until they put their hand back down. That's not a dangerous behavior in any way.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, these things like restraint seclusion often end up being used for any type of noncompliance or any kind of minor behavior. And again, we're talking about something that's really, really harmful to people. Somebody asked here about well, does it work? Are there other alternatives? And yes, there are a lot of other alternatives, a lot of other things that we can do to better support not only the individuals that are there, but also ultimately probably the staff as well. There are far better things that you can do that are used in places around the country. This is only one place in the world that has somehow made the case that it needs to use electric shock on people other than finding other ways to support them. It looks like you got a beautiful day there in Boston. And let me see that shirt there. Can you zoom out? You've got the Stop the Shock shirt. Can people still get those if they want to get a shirt?
They are still online. I can get the link. Not right this moment.
Sure. So anything else you want to share with us this afternoon? Tell us anything else that's going to be coming up or going on here today.
Today, we're just going to be here making noise for the rest of the day. We are going to continue to promote the bill. We're going to be trying to get people from Massachusetts to reach out to their representatives. And we're going to get it done this year. We're getting it done.
I hear you. Well, certainly if anybody's getting it done, you're getting it done. I know it took a lot of effort to put together a coalition. It is not an easy task to put together a coalition, and I appreciate all the work. I wish I had been able to come out there. It looked like I was at one point, and then it looked like I wasn't going to be able to make it. But I really greatly appreciate all that you're doing to raise awareness about this. It's not okay. There are better things that we can and should do. We can't allow this to go on. And appreciate you and all the other people that are out there protesting today. And let's hope this bill gets done. But thank you so much for all you do, and thanks for joining us. Any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
No, I don't think so. Just contact your representatives. If you're in Massachusetts, the bill is H.180, an act regarding the use of aversives.
Okay, great. And what about people that aren't inside of Massachusetts? Anything that they can do?
We do have an Action Network platform that they can sign a petition.
Okay, great. And I've shared the page with them. So I know you've got links on the page so they can go there and learn a little bit more about that as well. So we'll encourage people to do that. And, hopefully they'll be able to take part in helping to bring about some change.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you so much, Guy. I appreciate everything you've done.
Absolutely. Thank you for dropping in today, and I'll let you go, and best for everything and the rest of the day.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. And I will just share real quickly a link here in the chat. Of course, if you go to YouTube and you search for the Judge Rotenberg Center, there's a number of news stories about the facility, the device being used there. So you can certainly inform yourself. My thought is that this kind of thing shouldn't be happening anywhere, and there are far better things that we can and should do to other human beings. And I wish the coalition all the best in the efforts to get this bill passed. Thank you for dropping in and joining us live today. So I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.